There is no doubt that these are very energetic people, very potent people. But at some point, what happens is he enters a domain which is actually not experiential for him, and therefore he'll talk like this. You will get the confidence to defend your faith. Nothing about that line is correct. So, without knowing, they're becoming the same thing they're fighting. They're also becoming another religion. After some point, they get invested in conflict. That becomes their identity. Me versus another is their identity. They cannot let it go now. You know that this is one of the things that has been happening in India after 2014. The last 10 years it has happened so much, and they call it as Hindu awakening, Hindu resurgence, whatever they call it. Yes, there is some awareness coming. I know all that. Awareness about history, what happened. People didn't know, they were sleeping about. They were not even knowing the actual history, and all those things. People should become aware. All that is fine. But what is happening in the name of this awakening, to some extent, is a reaction. And many people who talk like this, who talk in this language, reactionary language, are becoming more and more popular. You know Sai Deepak? You people know Sai Deepak. Indians will know.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He is a very intellectually potent man. He is very sharp. With regards to what he is attempting to do as an advocate, as spreading awareness about history, about India and Hindus, all that is, you can appreciate that. It is good. And I think he is an engineer who turned into lawyer just because of this. So it shows the level of commitment and dedication and all those things. So there is no doubt that these are very energetic people, very potent people. But at some point, what happens is they cross their domain, because now they're talking about Hinduism, and slowly it will come into spirituality, and that they have no idea of. They start speaking of things which are not experiential for them, and therefore the solutions they give will not be fundamental. They can talk about the historical awareness, they can talk about how to address the constitution, how to change the laws, all this. But when it comes to the fundamentals, they make very grave errors. They will make very superficial points, and people won't realize it. And it becomes very difficult to make people realize also. See, I'll give one or two examples which I have heard. In one talk, he was saying, one clip, he was saying, I think he was pointing at Islam or Christianity, I'm not sure who. What he said was, these religious people who follow religions, they do their daily ritual or their daily practice, whatever it is, they will do it every day. And because of that, they have a confidence. They have confidence on their faith. So what Hindus should do is we should be doing, somebody is saying Nitya karma, that we should be doing our daily practices, daily rituals, whatever it is, Sandhya Vandana, or I think he was referring to Sandhya Vandana. So he said we should be doing those daily practices. Only if you do your daily rituals, only then you will get the confidence to defend your faith. Nothing about that line is correct. Now it is rainy season. It is raining. Here it is raining. I don't know about your place. So when it rains, we will open an umbrella, take the umbrella and go away and come. Umbrella is serving a purpose. I am holding the umbrella so that I won't get wet. Okay. Now I will not go around with my umbrella and come back home and then tell you should use umbrella every day. Only then it will give you the confidence to defend your faith. Umbrella is just serving a purpose. It is not an identity. It is not some psychological thing. It is just an instrument you are using for a purpose, and it is supposed to give you a result. There is no use for confidence here. There is no use for faith here. There is none of those things. Just to give an actual example, if you are doing pranayama every day, not even every day, if you do breath regulation This is one simple thing I'm telling you. And I've seen this. If you do breath regulation, very, very slow breathing for half an hour, you will immediately see its impact. You will see how lucid you feel. You will see how energetic you feel. It depends on some of the other things also, if you have, depends on the kind of food you have eaten and all that. But generally speaking, you will see it. So when you see the impact, when you see the result, it will obviously, you don't have to declare it to others. You can declare, you can tell it will do, but they will see you are becoming pleasant in interacting with other people. You are becoming pleasant. It will become evident to them. They may themselves ask you, what are you doing for this? Then you can tell, this is the instrument I'm using. This is just like umbrella only. Some, when you go around with the umbrella and come back, people will see you are not wet. You went out in the rain, still you are not wet. They will ask you how. Then you will show the umbrella and give them. There is no point of talking about confidence. See, you will talk of confidence and faith only. It is an indirect suggestion that these practices don't have, I won't say no result. This is something I have seen with people who do these practices, some of these religious practices, rituals. The mindset that they have is that these practices are supposed to give me result after my death. Even Hindus have this, many people have. They think that they're doing all these things so that finally at the last moment or after their death, this is going to help them. So they are treating or approaching or addressing these practices as something which will not give them a result now. So they have a result to, they don't have any results to show, at least psychologically, that's how they think, that's how they're approaching. So if you don't have a result to show on, and if it is giving you result after death, then you will talk in this language. Then you will say, this is my identity, this is what I'm doing, this is my belief, and therefore it will, now I will do this practice just for getting confidence. So I will go on doing this practice. It will not change me as a human being, it will not make me more pleasant or anything, but I will just become more confident. Why? Because I'm doing these practices every day. Then I will get the confidence to defend my faith. See, when you bring the word faith and confidence, you are basically saying what I'm doing is baseless. Baseless, at least in this life. It has basis in some other life. So this is not the language we should be speaking. And these people who are supposed to be making people aware about the Hindu way of life are also talking in this language, which by doing which they have actually succumbed to what they're fighting against. They're becoming them only. Do you understand this? They have become the same very thing they're trying to fight, because they're taking the same template and trying to do, they're thinking they're trying to do something new. He has told many things like this. This is just one example I'm getting. Another thing he said, which is similar, is that he says that Hindu practices are Hindu practices. Nobody else should be doing it. All this will come only if you don't see the fact that whatever this country did, whatever we were doing here, had a physical basis. They were not psychological, they were not aesthetics, they were not good feel good factor, they were not placebo, they were not simply sentimental things happening. Everything had a physical basis as to how life happens. And that's why they did all these small things, putting tilak or putting ornaments, whatever, all the small things were only to facilitate towards the same thing. They were not identities. We were only interested in results. We wanted to see the result. It was just to facilitate human beings blossom in various ways, and for that they found various instruments. If you don't see that, or if you don't realize that, then you will convert these things to an identity. It is just like, just to continue the train example, I know why I am using the umbrella. If you don't know why it is, and if you start converting it to a psychological identity, you will remove that cloth part of it, you will make it a stick, you will make it different sized sticks, and you will say, this is my identity. Now finally everybody will get wet. They will say, I'm holding this stick, this is my identity, I will get wet. You will hold another color of stick, another shape stick, you will also get wet, and we will fight in the rain. So if we start projecting Hindu. In fact, it is not even a religion. It is just a culture which happened in this land. It's just an exploration of life. It is just like biology or physics. They explore. Yes, Meera wants to ask something.
In this Sai Deepak's statement, I understand that how it was irrelevant to attach the Nitya Karma to confidence. But thing is, Nitya Karma per se, it has its role, is it not?
That's what I clarified. I'm not asking you not to do Nitya Karma. I'm telling the way it is being presented is
Ah,
religious. The way I'm
yeah.
presenting it to people is again becoming religious. I'm telling them just to have faith and do this, you will get confidence. That is not the way I should be presenting it. There is nothing wrong with what he's intending to do. But he makes these fundamental mistakes. Suppose somebody is doing yoga practice every day. Okay, they're not doing Sandhya Vandana, but they're doing pranayama, asana, and something. That also I can consider. I consider as Nitya Karma. Now, if somebody is doing yoga practice and if somebody asks me about yoga practice, I will not talk of yoga practice like that. After yoga practice gives me confidence on my faith. Yoga is never being presented like that because they know this is giving results right away. I'm supposed to do it because it has a basis, it has a physical basis. It will change my body in some way, it will change my chemistry in some way, it will make me more and more pleasant. It will give me more clarity, so many things it will do if it is being done properly. That is how it should be being presented. If you present it like that, immediately what happens is somebody else would also want to do it. It won't matter. Religion won't matter now. It should just be presented as an instrument which anybody can use. Umbrella, anybody can use. This, anybody can use. So don't present it as a psychological identity, as some aesthetic practice I am doing just to gain confidence. Don't make it psychological. These things are not psychological. So I'm not telling everything is wrong about Jay Sai Deepak. I'm telling when it comes to these things, people will ask him some questions which pertain to this. And he enters a domain which is actually not experiential for him, and therefore he'll talk like this. That was one example. He has done it many times. With many things, he has done it. So, without knowing, they're becoming the same thing they're fighting. They're also becoming another religion. And that is actually their, I don't know if you notice this, after some point, they get invested in conflict. That becomes their identity. Me versus another is their identity. They cannot let it go now. It becomes their strong identity. After that, even if there is no reason to get agitated and whatever, they cannot let it go. Because me versus the another, one identity versus another, has become my strong root.